777 have done it all. They had a double skin, a single skin, a hybrid, and now their newest baby is the LTX, which is 1/4 double skin and the rest is single skin. But is this Parawing going to be the end of the Parawing progression? Let's find out.
Welcome to Matt on Foil.
Now, every Parawing you get from 777 comes in a little bag, which, you know, it always says what it is, and the colors are usually different from size to size and also from Parawing to Parawing. This is the PT LTX, the newest baby. I got it in 5.5 square meters, and with all these bags, you have a zipper to make the bag bigger. So to put it in, it's actually easier, and then you can close it up to make it even more compact to stow and to take with you. And with all the 777 Parawings, you feel it when you take it out. These things are light. Like, they use the lightest material on the market, and this is amazing. The bar, as always, you have the harness attached to it. You have this bow line. The A's are blue, the B's and C's are red, and the brake lines are orange, as is the Parawing. The front is blue, the back is orange, so you can always see where the front line is. Same with color coordination. If the bar, back is orange, front is blue, so they nailed that one. The length of the bar is on the longer side with all 777 Parawings. This is 43 centimeters, which does fit in my Elements pouch. And you can see the A lines, they are attached not in the front of the bar, but towards the front, and you still have a little space to put your hand. So if you really want to depower, you can really hold it to the front and still have a good grip. It's always interesting to see how long the bridles are. And from the bar to the canopy, it's 1.60 meters, which is a really nice, because they used to be super long and 777 managed to make them shorter. So to collapse, to stow away, it's really nice. Another difference, as I mentioned at the beginning, the front part is still double skin, but it's just 1/4 of the whole canopy. So there's less double skin area, more single skin area, which helps a lot in the low end. We're going to talk about that later. What you also notice is that here on the side, 777 always had this double skin towards the tips. So the ears were double skin. That was usually a problem if you submerged it. It was a lot of water and it took a while to get out. So with this Parawing, they actually got rid of those double skin ears. Also, they have 2 lines that go through the Parawing, which makes it a lot more stable if you want to pump it. It doesn't get that harmonica effect, which is really nice. Something else that you notice with the 777 Parawings is that the brake lines are not attached to the trailing edge directly, but they are actually with 2 bridles attached to the back of the Parawing. So you got this separation here in the bridles, which doesn't make the Parawing go like this with the trailing edge, but they have a smooth finish of the Parawing. So this is really cool, very controlled Parawing. And maybe one last thing in engineering, the 777 Parawings have a lot of battens in. And if you have your bridles attached to the flares, it's not just to the fabric, but you can see here, there's a little batten here that distributes the weight, which makes the Parawing hold its form even better. The leading edge is also supported by battens, not only that go around the leading edge, but as well diagonally. So really there again, it holds the structure very well. You can see here in the middle, there's the 777 sign. It is blue, so you really see that middle of the Parawing very well. It was not a problem getting rid of the water. As you can see here, the water gets out really fast, especially now that you don't have this double skin part on the tips. Now, the last thing I want to mention about this Parawing before we take it out on the water is it's not that high aspect anymore. They took the projected area of their downwind Parawing, which was a little less high aspect, so it is more maneuverable, it is easier to manage. But let's take it out on the water. I had the LTX on the water on different occasions and in different winds as well. I had it at the low end and even below, so I know how it flies when the wind is not there. But there were also some gusts where a 5.5er was really too much. Now, first of all, if you fly the Parawing in its designed wind range, it is really stable. It is easy, controllable. It pulls you forward, but not too much. You can easily sheet in, sheet out, and have a lot of control. The upwind angles are also really good, maybe to that double skin part to the front. And even if the wind gets a little stronger or gusty, it stays very controlled, which is super nice. Steering also through the jibes is really easy. A little twist of the bar, maybe that length of the bar helps as well to steer. Also, if you make mistakes like me here in the jibe, for example, this Parawing, it gets where it should go. Like if you make a mistake, it flies towards where it's supposed to be. So you don't need a lot of input to steer it wherever it needs to go. So in the very low end, if you just want to have your Parawing flying, sometimes it starts to drop out of the sky and you really need to grab into the lines and bring it back up. Probably that's due to the heavier weight in the front of the Parawing. So once it's turned, it wants to go down. So you grab the lines to bring it back up. It needs a lot of anticipation and, you know, some gut feeling what happens to the Parawing. So, you know, if you're a little bit more experienced, you're gonna see that, you're gonna notice that, and you can avoid a wet Parawing. Now, the advantage of that double skin part is its stability. And especially if the wind is gusty and you have strong gusts hitting it, the Parawing stays super stable. So we know that the double skins cope with heavy gusts the best. The Parawing goes towards the front of the wind window and you don't get this pull leewards. It was also very good with the hybrid, and this with the small double skin part is actually still pretty good, but you have to make some compromises. As you have a smaller part that is double skin, with the super strong gusts, it's not as forgiving as the hybrid. And let me tell you about my last session on Lake Zurich. Lake Zurich is not the place where you usually go Parawing because it's super gusty. Like at a moment you had 5 knots or even less, a couple of seconds later you were in 25 knots, which was, you know, way too much for a regular 5.5. So I was really able to see the whole wind range with this Parawing. So I would say the LTX from 777 is a really good Parawing. Maybe not your beginner's Parawing, maybe not your super low-end Parawing, but if you have a lot of gusts, like super strong winds to maybe, you know, down to 12, the 5.5 is actually really nice. And I'm looking forward to bringing it to Silvaplana because there it is quite gusty. And as we are high above sea level, like 1,800 meters, the air is a little bit thinner, so it doesn't have that force. So a 5.5er is gonna be really good. There is still room for improvement, especially in the top end, making it even more stable. But I'm really happy with this Parawing. And I would say if you want a Parawing with a big wind range and you don't want to take that long to get rid of the water, then the LTX works really well. If I have like maybe 12 to let's say 25 knots, then this one is really the way to go. All right, that's been it with the LTX. In this playlist here, you can see even more reviews of gear, and maybe this video is interesting for you because I still wing in these 5 to maybe 12 knots of wind. Wings are still very good, so maybe check out the Fly Surfer video. Make sure to subscribe as well down here. All right, see you in the next one. It's okay, you can click here, it's fine.